faces in the Indian comic scene. So what keeps bringing you back to our country?
Well, I'm invited. I'm invited, and at the moment I'm not actually. If I was an artist and writer and I had big deadlines,
Right.
I wouldn't be able to come so many times. But I'm publishing now, as you probably know,
Yes.
through Shoelaces Weekly, and so you know I have the time to come along. They were very nice to invite me. So it's, you know, I'm seeing Indian cities that I've never seen before.
Okay, that's
And it's fine. I'm very happy to be here.
You mentioned Aces Weekly, so can you just like give us a rundown for our viewers who don't know what Aces Weekly is and they would like to get into it or just get it somewhere?
Sure. Well, I mean, the best way to look at it is through the website. The website is acesweekly.co.uk,
Okay.
and basically it's a cyberspace comics art magazine. It's like an anthology, all kinds of different stories, a mix of serials and short stories, but it's just cyberspace. It goes directly to people's computers. I don't see any reason in the 21st century why we have to use an antiquated system of telling comic stories to people. You know, why do you need printing and warehousing and shipping and boxes to put it in and then send it to a store? It's just crazy. When in fact I can put a comic page on a computer and I can send it straight. You know, it's a file. Send it straight to people. And you read it in the same way. We don't do anything with it. It's not a motion comic. We don't do that. It's just great comic art, comic storytelling, just on screen, and it goes directly to people. And because we go directly, we cut out all those costs. It's extremely cheap, and you can subscribe for £1 a week in any currency. £1 a week. And it gets you 20 pages coming to you every week, makes up a volume. Yeah, it's very, very cheap. We have great artists, great quality, and that's one of the reasons I like coming to cons, because I can actually tell people about it. So that's it.
I have to ask you about this, and I know you've been answering this everywhere, but I need to know, like, did you know how relevant V for Vendetta would be in this day and age?
No, and I mean, sadly, now you have the right wing seems to be growing. No, I mean V has been relevant from the time we created it. You know, let's face it, there's dictatorship somewhere in the world. There are people telling people what to do, repressing people everywhere in the world at some point. So it's always relevant. But you're right, it does seem more relevant now.
And with relations to our country, are you familiar with the Indian comic scene and like any creators that you like?
I know something of Indian comics, and I know something about your market. How you know they were selling in their millions. I know decades ago, but then India suffered in exactly the same way that a lot of countries have suffered from reprints from Marvel and DC and superheroes. That's happened in every country, and manga too. That's changed things. So I know that the market here, a lot of people are struggling. I mean, you've got some great indie artists here though in indie comics, and I met some of the artists in the other shows I've been to. I just wish everybody luck. But I tell you, if there's any Indian artists want to do something for Aces Weekly, you know, let me know, because
I know a couple who are currently doing some work with Image Comics. So they have comics called Paradiso coming out in December.
Well, that's great. That's great, because I mean that is the best way. I mean, you know, to work for a company like Image or anybody else. That's the best way of actually getting.
I'll be sure to tag them in this video.
Yeah.
and tell them that David Lloyd himself is very interested.
Please do.
Yeah. And are you following like the recent comics which are coming out, or any writer, creator, or title that you're currently following?
You mean English and American?
Sure.
No. I mean, I have to say that the only comics I'm reading, the comics I publish.
Okay.
It's a matter of time, really. That's what it's all about. I know there's lots of great stuff, but I just don't have the time to read it. And I mean, there is so many good things out there.
Okay. And to slightly break away from this, and with the recent trends of all these allegations and all coming out, and it's a slightly controversial topic, but recently with Berganza's story breaking last night, and
No, tell me about it. I don't know.
Okay, Eddie Berganza, there have been BuzzFeed articles just came out like a few hours ago maybe, in which there have been multiple women have come out.
Oh yeah, you mean? Right, yeah, okay. The same thing as that. This Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly.
There's something happening in comics that's the same, is it? Is it? Oh right, okay.
So do you have any thoughts on how people are like using their powers, and especially in a medium in which they write for heroes, and it's what people strive to be, but they're doing exactly opposite that. Like, do you have any thoughts to share about?
Well, no, I mean, you know, bad people are bad people, you know,
Right.
and I think that, you know, people with power and influence who exploit those who are vulnerable, they're just everywhere, you know. I think if it's happening in comics, it's no different to happening in theatre or TV or movies or anything, or any other company, any in business. It happens in business, you know. People with power, bad people with power, seek to influence and corrupt. And what can you say? It's just bad. You know, there's no way to stop it though, because the only way to stop it is for people not to put up with it or tolerate it. Yeah, there's not much you can say about it except it's bad.
And what does the future have for you? Like, any other projects that you would like to tell us about other than Aces Weekly that you're currently doing?
No, Aces Weekly is it. Aces Weekly, it's my entire occupation, and it has to be because it's pretty tough. I mean, I'm very proud of what I do with Aces Weekly. We're up to 30th volume now.
Right.
We've been going for 5 years, and I'm very proud of it. But it's a tough sell because comic readers like collecting. They like a thing. And when you're trying to sell them something that is invisible, basically, it's tough. So you know, that's the job I have to do, and I'm very happy to keep doing it.
Okay, so we're going to end the wrap.
All right then.